Hello YouTubers, well, here we are again back in another week. So that's 3 weeks since our last mow and our review of the Victa 80 volt lithium ion range of garden equipment, as you can see here. So currently it's 1 month since I bought it, and this is 3 weeks since the last mow. Still, grass isn't all that long after 3 weeks, but there are a few patches that are fairly long. So we'll just have a quick run around and have a look at that, and go from there. Then I'll set the attachments together and we'll go again. This is just a quick run up the street, so you can see all the, not much to see, it's just grass. It's a little bit longer up the front. You go out on the street, but nothing too major, just a normal block, and you can see it in the front yard. It's a little bit longer, so we'll come back to that. I'll go and set up the mower and the trimmer, put the edging attachments on, and we'll go from there, and we'll see where we end up. So 3 weeks, 1 month review. We'll go from there. I'll be back in a second. Okay, there we have it. I've got the edging attachment connected to the trimmer now, and the battery will start with a full charge, as with the previous times. There, you can see that three bars, which is showing 75% or more, and we'll just put that in as per normal. Click her in, and away we go. We're ready to go. So I'll just get this edges hung up, and we'll start trimming the edges. I'll get back in a sec. Okay, here we go. We'll start the edging attachment up. A little bit tricky one-handed. Yeah. Like the other times, I'm sure you'll get the gist. And see how we go. We won't do it all. Won't show it all, but you can see where we're going. Trying to do that edge, so I'll keep going. I'll just have to pause this here, I think. It's a bit hard to hold while you're trying to do it. So I'll pause that and come back. Okay, there we have it. The edging's all done now, and I'd have to say it was a little bit more difficult to cut, but the trimmer didn't really show, it didn't show any signs of stopping or stalling or anything like that, but you could tell it was working a little bit harder, which I think it did quite easily on 3 weeks growth. And you can see down the road there, and just inside the front yard where it was a bit thicker and a bit heavier. So after 3 weeks, cut perfectly fine. I didn't have any issues as far as that goes, but you could tell it was working a little bit harder, which is fine. It handled that in itself. It has used a little more power, where the last time I think it still had 3 full bars. So after just the trimming on its own, you can see it's got 2 bars. It's used one bar of power, so which drops it down to under 75% of its full charge somewhere. So I'll go back and put the trimmer section back on, come back and finish off all the other edging around all the concrete walls and brick walls and the like, and will be interesting to see how long the battery lasts, now that it's obviously going to use a little more power, being longer, and we'll see how that works too. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, here we are now, got the trimming head on, and we'll start that. I have changed the trimming cord to a 2.4mm twist cord. The original was only 2mm, and you didn't get very much of it in the first place. It was just a small amount on the spool to start with, and it seemed to wear off pretty quickly. But other than that, this is the new stuff. A little bit heavier, and with a twist to it. So again, we'll start off. So we've still only got 2 indicators of power. So we'll see how long this one lasts. Turn him on. get him up to full power, and we're right to go. So we'll see. Again, I won't video the whole thing, but you'll see the grass is a lot heavier than what it was in the previous video, and just like then, as you can see, there's no real trouble with it cutting anything. The grass a bit longer. After 3 weeks, there's no drama. It's just a bit awkward to do with one hand, so I'll stop this and finish off what I'm doing. I'll come back and take a few shots here and there, and carry on. Be back soon. Okay, using the trimmer, it doesn't really seem to make any difference. The grass is a little bit longer, but as you can see, cutting around here, very difficult with one arm, trying to hold onto it and the camera, but it's not having any difficulties at all. Cutting 3 weeks worth of growth. There's no sign of anything going wrong, or labouring or struggling whatsoever. Motor revs are quite constant, they don't seem to change at all really, so it's not having any struggles as far as that goes. As you can see there, so I'll do a bit more and finish off while I've got both hands on it, and I'll come back again in a minute. Alright, there we have it. After doing all the edges, trimming around the brick walls and everywhere, all out the front, the trimmer works fine. I have no troubles with it after 3 weeks of grass there. But I do think it's running a little bit slower perhaps, and I'll just check the power again after both trimming and using the edging attachment. So yes, we're down to one bar of power. Where last week, I think, when the grass wasn't all that long, we were still on, I still think we still had 3 bars of power. Where with this week, after 3 weeks, then it's certainly using a little bit more power, and I can notice it a little bit slower as it's getting down. But we do have a second battery, so I don't really think that's going to be an issue. Next step's the mower, which last time we managed to get all through everything on one charge, which was fine. And so this one I'll go down and swap them over to the mower, and we'll finish mowing and come back to you. I'm going to stop this because the camera keeps cutting out for some reason, so I'll stop this again and be back shortly. Okay, we're back again, ready to start mowing. Battery's in the mower. As you can see there, we're down to 1 bar of power already. So we'll start her up, let her rip, and we'll see how long that's going to last. That will be interesting to see. So there we go. Quite thick there, the grass up in this section. It's near a little wall garden, so it gets watered quite regularly, and as you can see, the grass is quite high. It's not finding, yeah, you can hear it rev up there a little bit as it comes into the heavier grass, so it definitely picks up a bit of speed there, which is what it's supposed to do. And there it's died back down again, so it feels it doesn't need the extra power to mow that grass. And remember, the battery's only got 1 bar of life left in it, so we're down around 25% of battery life left. I think we're definitely going to need a second battery for this mow after 3 weeks, but I'm happy with that. That's still working well within its range, and with a quick charge of 30 minutes, I don't see any real problems with that. It certainly lasted over that period of time, and it's going well. Alright, I'll stop this again and just come back to it. I'll finish off mowing some bits and come back shortly. Okay, here we are back. I've done the inside yard, and it's still going. It's still showing 1 bar of power. Even though it's 3 weeks, there's still not a lot of grass. Just want to see that in the catcher. So there's a little bit there. Nothing too drastic, even after 3 weeks growth. So we'll just continue on and see how long this battery lasts before it conks out. I'm sure it's going to. But at the moment we're still running fine. Very impressed with the performance of everything. So can't really stress that too much or enough, because it's really brilliant. I'm loving it. Right, I'll stop this again. It's starting to rain here, it's just starting to sprinkle, so I better hurry. But I'll stop this again and come back again. Okay, interestingly enough, here we are. I'm pretty sure the battery's gone flat, and I'm only possibly about halfway through doing the yard. I was just starting at the front here again, but it won't start. It's just stopped in the middle of doing it, and it's every time I try to start it, it's beeping at me, so I can only assume that the battery's gone flat. In there, get no bars, nothing showing, and it won't start. So that's interesting. Not surprising, and but I think that's still quite acceptable. The grass is quite long. It's still been revved up a couple of times, or several times, because the grass is a bit longer than normal. And I normally wouldn't let it go 3 weeks anyway, but it's this was only for this purpose, and just check out the battery life. So okay, we'll go in, change the battery, and we'll see where we go from there. See how far we get. I've no doubt that it'll finish with the second battery. So I can't imagine that being an issue. But yeah, we'll get it out, and we've definitely got no power left in the battery. Yep, nothing at all. So I'll take it in and put it straight on the charger. Since we last recorded, I've since mounted the charger on the wall with a little shelf for the battery. I'm just trying to turn the lights on here in the shed, so you might have a chance of seeing it. It's a little bit dark today. It's just starting to rain. It's very overcast. So there we have the battery charger. There we go. There's a little bit of light. All mounted on the wall, ready to go. So it's plugged in here to the power point, along with some other chargers and stuff I've got all mounted in the same location. Little shelf there. There's the second battery, and we'll put this one in straight away. And straight away, there's no issues. The light comes on, it automatically starts charging away. So we'll grab the second battery. Now you might be able to hear the fan just started in the charger. Second battery, got 3 full bars of charge. So we'll grab that, stick that back in the mower, and we'll keep going. Finish off the job, and I'll be back again in a bit. Okay, I'm just finishing off the mowing part. I'm still going okay. Had no real issues. The motor accelerates in some of the heavier spots, and it hasn't got to be overly long either to accelerate up. But even with the battery down as low as or under the first bar, it still accelerates, revs up to cut the heavier grass as it should, like it's supposed to do. So it still performs very, very well. I like the way that the lithium batteries just go and go and go and go and just bang, stop right at the end, and they got absolutely nothing left. So, which is good. Alright, I'll just finish off this little bit. I'll come back shortly. Okay, here we go again. Sorry about that. The battery went flat in the camera this time. So we've finished the mowing, and as you can see, we've got 2 bars left. So it's definitely chewed a bit more juice out of the battery with 3 weeks growth. But as you can see, it's all mowed again, and I've just got to use the blower, tidy up the edges, and blow off all the grass off the footpaths and the lights in the front. But there we have it, back out on the main road with all the noise and the traffic going past this Good Friday. And there we are, get the blower out now. So we've used 1 bar of power with the mower on the second battery, just because it was a bit heavier, grass was a bit longer, and it has used a little more power than it did previously. So I'll be back with the blower shortly. Okay, here we are on the blower. Now again, 2 bars of battery, on the 80 volt blower. We'll start that up. It's not much to blow away, but there is a little bit. So we can start him up, and I'm just going to go straight for the full power mode, which is already set on, and we'll just go for it. Again, let it go. So, go straight into that. Blow all the grass away. It's no different to the last time really. There's nothing particularly extra to see as far as that's concerned here, other than it's doing its job. It does blow the grass away, as with any blower, I guess. So I'll finish that off and come back and check on the battery again. Be back. Alright, we're still going with the blower, but it does do a, I mean, it's just a blower, but it does do a really good job, same as anything else. Just as good as my petrol version that I have. Haven't used now for over a month, so, which is really good. Battery powered ones, I think, are definitely the way of the future. I guess the batteries can only improve in the coming years, like everything else. I suppose it's just another way to get you to spend more money. But whatever they keep making them, I suppose somebody's got to buy them. But as you can see, the grass is blowing away. There's no dramas. There's quite a lot there. Blow it all out into the street, just over where I've already done. We'll just blow that down the road a little bit, and we'll be good. And that's about it. We're pretty much done in that regard. It's all mowed, trimmed, edged, and everything else. So that's it. I hope that helps. I can only say again, this is they're very good. That's still got 2 bars of power now. That is the second battery, so it has used a lot more power. But really, I guess in reality, it's only 1 more power, so it's only 25% more power that's used on the second battery to do the same job that it did last week on 1 battery. And this is after 3 weeks growth. So, as you know by now, it's not all that big a yard, but it certainly doesn't take very long. Oh, about an hour, so just a bit over an hour. And yeah, you'll certainly be able to mow that even with fairly long grass. I don't see any issues. No troubles using all the bits and pieces. They work extremely well. I can only say I'm really pleased that I jumped in and spent the money and was able to track down a mower, because that was really hard to find. The other bits and pieces are easy, but the mower in particular is extremely difficult to find. So, but if you can find one, I recommend buying one. Absolutely buy one. So, well, there you have it. That's it. 3 weeks growth, 1 month review of the Victa 80 volt lawnmower range, yard or garden equipment range. Excellent. Buy them if you can. Highly recommended. Thanks for watching.